You have 77 counties in Oklahoma. I can put reports in them in 66 counties.
911, what are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was?
I'd say it was a person or somebody really big. But he's all in black.
Welcome back to Squatch Ranger Files, episode 14. This is a very special episode because today marks 50 days until the Honobia Bigfoot Festival and Conference. I will be attending this conference. I have several duties at the conference. One of my duties is on the security team, and another duty is I perform as one of the Bigfoot mascots, and I walk around and pose for pictures with people. So, if you are attending the Honobia Bigfoot Conference in October in 50 days, please find me and chat with me, and share your passion for Bigfoot. I'd love to speak with you. Okay, it's now time to begin the show. Number 1. Face-to-face encounter near a barn stall. 2008 in Lawrence County, Kentucky. Class A nighttime sighting. My encounter with Bigfoot in Kentucky. I went down to my remote property in southeastern Kentucky. This is a very secluded spot, out in the middle of nowhere. Mountains on all sides, very dense, very rough terrain. This is a rural area in the most eastern part of Kentucky. It lays in between two mountains and two lakes. Plenty of game. Now, after my farmhouse long had been burnt down, all that remained was my old barn, built out of rough lumber. So I then, meaning to take up residence, moved in. Yes, I moved into a barn stall. I chose the back stall, which sat facing the mountainside, for safety, with only one way in. I floored the stall, and had been there about a week when I was visited about 3 a.m. My little dog was going crazy. I looked over at my door, which was chained, and there were walls on both sides, so nothing could get in. I lay on a mat on the floor. Just before the commotion, I witnessed a white weasel after my eggs, setting down inside an old feed box meant for the horse, then scampering down the wall and out a hole. With my sawed-off 410, and after securing my little dog because she could go under the door, I laid there and listened. The first thing I heard was what sounded like weasels running around the back side of the stall and towards the mountain. Then I heard what sounded like a moose coming towards me with no grunting, nothing. Crashing, breaking sticks beneath its feet. Then, in a deep step, swashing through the ditch, from which the water from the rain would come down from that mountain like a monsoon that dumped into the ditch/drain. Then up the bank to my stall, taking heavy strides. Now, if you know about rough lumber, then you know there is about an inch-wide break between the boards. So, I had put, from the floor up, a 3-foot insulated paper for privacy in front of where I slept. I anxiously raised up on my knees, stretching to see what the heck that was. Everything was black. I couldn't see nothing. You could always see the road by the moonlight. This night, I could see nothing. Stretching up and down, swaying back and forth, raising up off one knee, trying my best. Then, all of a sudden, I came face to face with my peeping Tom. We startled each other and both reacted the same way, gasping. I jumped back, exclaiming, What the was that? Needless to say, I didn't hear anything but a gasp the same time I gasped. It ran towards the road, 'cause I never heard it go back across the small field. I laid down, scared to death, and kept my hand on that 410. This peeping Tom came down out of the woods, 'cause I could hear it coming. This was no bear, and I had heard its screams while camping there before. There's a lot of action around this place, and a family lives in this area. I never thought about what a neighbor of ours, years before, had told us, because I, at the time, never knew anything about Bigfoot, even though I had seen one in Ohio when I was around 24. It wasn't till I saw a documentary with Dr. Meldrum that I put all this together, and since then I've been investigating this phenomenon ever since. The search for Sassy Karen Sue Nye. Number 2. Man and wife hear rock clacking near creek. 2015 in Grady County, Southwest Oklahoma. Class B, rock clacking. Well, this is not a big story, but about 3 years ago, I happened to be outside my house about 9 at night. I have a dry creek bed with a pond at the end of it, and it was very obvious that rocks were being clacked together in the creek. I went in and brought my wife out so she could hear it for herself. We listened for about 5 or 10 minutes, and we do not have rocky terrain in our property. An added note, about a week before, I was parked at a gate on the other side of the creek. There was wood knocking coming from the same creek. Anyways, we have had several other encounters since the mid-'80s. They seem to show up in the fall. Follow-up NOBRO investigators report. I spoke with the witness over the internet. He stated he wants to remain anonymous, but also doesn't mind sharing his story. The witness also told me the ones that show up on our property have never been threatening or vocal. They are very quiet, and they stay hidden. I would not want people to know exactly where this is, because it would be too easy for them to be harassed. This specific encounter is not only the only encounter that the witness experienced. He expressed that he and some friends have other experiences they may share in the future. Number 3. Man sees roadside bipedal creature while counting deer. Southeast Oklahoma. Class C, third-person story. The reporting party, RP, of this sighting is the son of the actual eyewitness. The RP's father passed away 2 years as of this year. The RP stated that on or about February 18th, 2010, he believes his father said an hour after sunset, which would have been right around 6:40 p.m., that his father saw a large bipedal creature covered in hair walk past him within 40 to 50 yards while he was driving on a lease road near Deer Run Road in Bryan County, Oklahoma. The RP said his father was driving slow, looking to spot and count deer, as he usually does often driving the back roads in the county. On the right-hand side of the county road, there is a 3-strand barbed wire fence and a small clear cut of 4 to 5 feet from the fence to the tree line. The RP remembers his father telling him that at one point he saw deer crossing the road in front of him in a manner he would describe that they seemed to be running from something. The RP doesn't remember how many deer his father said crossed the road. When he approached the area where the deer crossed, he was looking left in the direction the deer had ran to. He slowed just about to a stop. When he looked to the right, he observed a partially illuminated figure standing between the fence and the tree line. The headlights from his truck were pointing well past the figure, and only faint light was enough to see that what he could only describe as an upright creature, standing on 2 legs, covered in a dark-colored hair. The RP said his father said it wasn't wearing any clothes. He said his father did make a distinct description that the head of this figure was above his truck cab, and that it turned and took 2 steps and disappeared into the woods. The sighting only lasted possibly 2 to 4 seconds, as the RP remembers his father telling the story. Follow-up Native Oklahoma Bigfoot Research Organization. Investigators report by an NOBRO investigator. No other information is available about the description of the figure. The father was driving a 1985 Chevy single-cab pickup, and the ground where the figure was standing, from what the RP remembers, his father saying, is it was level to the truck. You can imagine the height of the figure, as it was to the height of a 1985 Chevy single-cab pickup. The RP was only wanting to share what his father had told him before he passed away. Investigative case closed.